Okay, so let's switch gears. I just started. I'm going to actually take the first test for the tax planning certified professional, the TPCP. I'm
Ooh,
going to take it next week, I think. Um, I,
exciting.
I'm just that guy. I'm just too curious. Like I'm the guy that has to hit the lever, has to flick the
Yeah.
switch because I saw this and I was like, I'm just curious what is inside here. So I gotta jump in. So I'm just
So
doing
what do you
the
think so far after going through the first course?
yeah, no, I like it. I like it a lot. In whether you're a CPA, an enrolled agent, a CFP, financial advisor, there's just so much out there. For me, it's hard to remember all of it, and it's great to circle back to a lot of things
Yeah.
because you hear things once, and then you might not come back to it again for several years. But there's also a lot of some a few new things that I came across. I'm like, yeah, that's good to know too. That's interesting. And so far so good. I like it. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So what I wanted to talk about is well, you can share your thoughts on the tax planning certified professional as well, but I wanted to kind of get into the world of financial advisor credentials, and how there's just so many out there, and talk about it from the consumer perspective. Not so much
Yeah.
from inside the industry, but the consumer perspective of how the heck do you navigate this if you're just out there not living in this world and you come across. Let me share this with you. I'm going to ramble on for a second. Certified financial planner, chartered financial consultant, accredited financial counselor, retirement income certified professional, wealth management certified professional, financial services certified professional, retirement management advisor, chartered financial analyst, chartered alternative investment analyst, financial risk manager, certified investment management analyst, certified private wealth advisor, chartered retirement planning counselor, chartered retirement plan specialist, accredited investment fiduciary. It just goes on and on. CPA, enrolled agent, national social security advisor, personal financial specialist, chartered life underwriter, chartered property casualty underwriter, registered health underwriter, behavioral financial advisor, financial behavioral specialist, certified divorce financial analyst, certified exit planning advisor, chartered special needs consultant. Now, some of these are for niches, which I think do have a place. But I didn't even go through my whole list there. And
You
imagine
hit you
being
hit on like 10%, not even that of what's out there. So
And imagine being somebody, a consumer who's looking for a financial advisor or just looking for some help and trying to sort through that. Good luck. I mean, where do you start?
and everything you just mentioned, except two of them, are voluntary designations that don't actually get you the ability to do something you couldn't otherwise have done. It's not a license in that regard.
Right.
Based on me quickly listening to what you were, saying, CPA and enrolled agent are the only two that actually like give you the rights to do something that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do. Namely, that's represent clients in front of the IRS. CPA allows you to sign off on, audits for public companies. I think you can't do that unless you're CPA. I could be wrong. An enrolled agent has some other things, like it allows you to file taxes in certain states without having to otherwise be registered in that state, things like that. But otherwise, everything else, complete voluntary designation that no one has to have, or if you do have it, it doesn't, again, give you the ability to do anything you weren't otherwise already able to do. It is an absolute mess, and a lot of these things are just profit centers for the organizations that sponsor them and run them and administer them. It doesn't mean they're bad, but a lot of these are for-profit designations from the organizations who do them. In my view, there's two broad categories. One is like the big ones that require a lot of energy, a lot of knowledge, a fair amount of time to do. It's not just like pay $100, sit through a weekend course, take a test, and you're done. Like these are legit commitments that actually sort of mean something. For broad, comprehensive financial planning knowledge, there's three, and frankly, they're interchangeable in their caliber and quality, in my opinion. There's a CFP, Certified Financial Planner. There's CHFC, Chartered Financial Consultant, and PFS, Personal Financial Specialist. What's the difference? CFP, more people know of simply because the organization that runs it does public marketing with TV commercials and stuff. CHFC is as good, maybe even arguably a little better in its content, but a lot less people have heard of it. It is run by a different organization. PFS, you can only get if you're already a CPA,
Yeah.
certified public, I completely drew a blank. Certified public accountant. It's basically the comprehensive financial planning add-on for CPAs. All three of those things are comparable in like rigor and stature and in whatever. Even still, having that doesn't mean the person is a experienced expert in all things financial planning. It means they went through a minimum level of testing and education and certain amount of experience to check the boxes necessary to qualify them to use that designation. But still, those are like the big important ones for financial planning. For investment management, CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst, hands down, means a lot.
Yes.
It's the most, in my opinion, I went through some of it and quit. It's the most difficult designation to get in the whole financial industry, in my opinion. But again, it's heavily investment focused. For vast majority of financial planners, it's way overkill. They don't need to have it. CPA, obviously the gold standard for tax stuff. Even still, that's overkill for financial planners doing like personal financial planning, because like 3/4 of the content of CPA curriculum and tests you have to take doesn't directly apply to financial planning. It's like legal and business environment or something like that. It's auditing and it's like financial statement preparation. Like you're never going to do that stuff as a individual financial planner. The four, I could be wrong, but like I think again, there's 4 modules, or that could be really dated. This was like 20 years ago. But one of the modules is like tax legislation. So that obviously directly applies to tax knowledge to financial planning. Enrolled agent. It is a license issued and overseen directly by the IRS. Like I said, it gets you some things that other people don't have. Like you can file tax returns in California without having to separately file in California as a registered preparer. It doesn't make you an expert in tax. Again, means you were able to learn and sit through 3 tests, learn content, sit through 3 tests. But at least evidence is that you put in some time and energy to get yourself exposure to a wide range of income tax related things. Anything else you consider like the big ones that really have some meat behind them?
No, I think that's good. I think there is a place for the real niche ones, like the what was it, the chartered special needs consultant. I'm sure.
Yes.
If you work in that kind of space, or there's a divorce one as well. If that's really where you hang your hat, or the exit planning, then I think there's a lot of validity to having those and seeking somebody who specializes with that sort of training there.
Agreed. Yeah, I didn't mean to discredit all the other ones I didn't mention. Like I have 2 other ones, the RICP, which is Retirement Income Certified Professional, and TPCP, the Tax Planning Certified Professional. Again, doesn't make me an expert in those related fields, but it means I've had that much more exposure and formal education and some testing in various areas of retirement income related stuff and tax planning related stuff. So they're 100% helpful. I have no regrets about getting them. I wouldn't hire someone simply because they do or don't have certain of those credentials, though, is what I'm getting at, I guess.
Yeah, and that's kind of the broader point that I wanted to make for any listeners out there. You can have a average advisor with all the credentials. Vice versa, you can have a great advisor. I'm sure there's some great advisors, Andy, out there who have no credentials at all. They have 0. And I bet you they do a great job and they're great at what they do. So it's just kind of understanding, don't put too much weight in any of these things, other than, like you said, there's obviously licenses, right? If you need an enrolled agent or CPA for those things, but.
Correct. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. I know some planners that have no designations that, nothing we just talked about, and are sharper, better planners than some people I met with the CFP and some of those other ones. So you never know.
Right.
Generally speaking, I want to believe people with the designations, in theory, all else equal, should know a little more, should have been exposed to a little more. But again, there's no guarantees. There's people without them that are better planners.
Yeah, and I wanted to approach this from the consumer perspective. Reason being is, well, twofold. One is, you hear in the news now there's going to be this great wealth transfer, right? 100 trillion is expected to transfer over the next couple decades. Some of those individuals who are the inheriting are going to be looking for probably financial advice. So how do they navigate that? And the other thing is, I don't know what the number is, but like advisor retention is about 95%, which means typically the first person you go to and get settled into, you're probably going to have a long-standing relationship with this person. And so it's kind of, not to make it bigger than what it is, but it's kind of a big deal to make sure, you get it right with who you are. And these credentials may or may not, assist in that. Those are my
Yeah.
thoughts there. What do you think?
Yeah, agreed. I do feel for the consumer. It is such a difficult process. Where do you even start to find a qualified advisor? Do you just, what I'd say don't do is just, oh, I don't know, my neighbor's got a guy he likes.
Right,
Like
right.
your neighbor doesn't know what he doesn't know, probably. Don't just walk into the corner big name bank or brokerage firm that you all heard of. There's a level of comfort in that, obviously. Everyone's heard of, not to knock anyone in particular, but Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase.
Right.
And they're not necessarily bad advisors, but they quite likely aren't the right one for you, or may not charge, fair fee for what they actually do, that they will be limited in what they can provide compared to other smaller firms that don't have the same level of needing to manage the lowest common denominator knucklehead advisor. They don't have as much restriction with what they're able to do. I wish I had a good, clean answer where to go to find a good advisor. I mean, the best I can say is try to educate yourself as much as possible. Follow forums, join some groups. Again, don't just take a blind recommendation from a neighbor. Don't discredit small, even solo operations. In my experience, having been directly in the advisory industry now for a little over 6 years, some of the best, most effective, most on your side, most thorough planners out there are the small solo shops that want, small number of relationships to serve really well, really intimately. They're not just mass production places just trying to hit a target or onboard a certain amount of clients or sell a certain amount of product. But how do you know who's legit, who's not? How do you even find them in the first place unless they already have big public presences on social media and stuff? Like, I don't have a good answer.
The opinions and statements presented on this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Never make any investment or financial decisions based on information offered on this show without first consulting your financial, legal, or tax advisor. All economic and performance information mentioned on the show is historical in nature and is not indicative of any future results. All indices mentioned on this show are unmanaged and cannot be invested in directly. All information is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representation as to its completeness or accuracy. Lastly, all opinions expressed by Jason Katita and any guests on the show are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of or are endorsed by ToBA Financial. For Jason Katita, investment advisory services are offered through ToBA Financial LLC, a registered investment advisor offering advisory services in the state of Hawaii and in other jurisdictions where exempt from registration.